When I originally planned this module, I was planning on using a platform called Value DeFi and its token VBSwap to demonstrate a governance token. Since that video has been recorded, Value DeFi was actually unfortunately the victim of a rug pull where a hacker managed to liquidate all of the pools that were non 50-50. So for example, if there was a pool with 98% of one token and 2% of another token, the entirety of that pool was actually drained by this individual. $15 million was stolen. There was a video about it on my YouTube channel if you're interested in how that actually operated. But the point is, I'm not going to be able to demonstrate using that token because none of the numbers now make sense, basically. Okay. Don't worry too much about it. It will be covered in more detail in the hacks and scams section of the DeFi module in chapter 6. But for now, just remember that DeFi lending and borrowing is riskier than perhaps centralized lending and borrowing, but there are pluses and minuses to both. Okay. I can still actually show you the value token. Okay, so this is actually the GV value token where users actually deposit collateral over time, and over time fees that are through the infrastructure on Value DeFi get added to this token. So over time the token actually increases in value as fees from the ecosystem that surround Value DeFi are actually fed into this token. You can obviously see it's slowly increasing in value as time goes on. Okay, but I'm actually going to be moving away from this and focusing on it more in chapter 6 on the DeFi section of this, just because it is all very much up in the air at the moment. We've obviously seen the value token drop significantly over the past couple of weeks, okay, because of the hack. No doubt in time it will start to climb again, but I'm actually going to be using this example in a more centralized way as opposed to a decentralized way, just because of this situation. I'm actually going to be using the Crypto.com ecosystem to demonstrate what staking a governance token is actually like. Okay, you can actually view the CRO token as a governance token, albeit it doesn't really come with any kind of voting options or anything like that, but it does enable you to have perks and added features as part of the infrastructure. Okay, so this system is actually relatively recent. You used to stake a specific amount of CRO. Now you stake a dollar amount of CRO in order to get the various perks and rewards. Okay. Now, there is a free option for anyone who is interested, and if you stake, there is a referral link on the page, on the main page of the module, if you are interested in getting a cashback card. However, if you stake $400 of CRO, you get 2% cashback and Spotify rebate it. Okay, so that is a perk of staking the CRO token. If you stake $4,000 of CRO token, you get 3% cashback and 100% off Spotify and 100% off Netflix, etc. Okay, all the way up to the best card, but has the largest amount of collateral associated with it, $400,000. You get 8% in cashback in rewards, and you obviously get a whole host of added benefits. Okay. Crypto.com private, and even a private jet partnership arrangement. Okay, but obviously you have to stake the $400,000 in order to get that. Okay, now these stakes are locked away for 6 months. Depending on the governance token you are using, it doesn't always necessitate locking it away for an extended period of time, but this is actually, you can't touch these funds for 6 months from when you stake them. After the stake is complete, you can liquidate, but you lose any of the benefits. Okay, so you would lose a certain amount of benefits in order to unstake your collateral and spend it or liquidate it or do anything else with it that you choose to do. Now, I would also mention that you do get 12% on the higher interest rates. Okay, so you do get 12% interest on the $4,000. You will get 12% interest on the $40,000. You will get 12% on the $400,000 as well. So your investment does keep pace and is actually a really good way of staking and earning alongside the benefits. Okay, so you do get added benefit from actually doing that as well. Okay, and you're obviously able to use the cards, etc. Okay, there's also a whole host of other services that are provided. So effectively, in terms of a centralized entity, this is a governance token for the Crypto.com ecosystem. We've also seen governance tokens for other systems as well, but they don't really have a overall reliance on the voting mechanism. Okay, Nexo, as I mentioned in my earlier video, will have an infrastructure for voting soon, as will Celsius. Okay, let's just have a look at the voting system on Value DeFi, because that will give you a really good idea about how the voting actually works, and it's on-chain voting as opposed to anything else. So if we go to governance, we can actually see this here. That's the Value DeFi price, as we can see. We've got no value here because I've actually moved it over to the BSC service at the moment, but if we just look at the profit history, we can actually see all of the profits paid in value over the past month or so. Okay, now there are numerous ways of actually voting using this system, and if we go back to the main page, we can actually see that there are multiple methods of actually voting on this particular platform that I'm going to be demonstrating for a second. Let's go to vote. Okay, at the moment there are no votes going on, okay, but I'm actually logged in, and if this were an actual vote going on here we can see, you'd actually be able to click on these and vote once an hour for whatever option you want to actually choose. Okay, so the overall direction of the project is actually decided by its users, and as you can see, there have been quite a few votes that have happened in the past. Everything from migrating pools to improving interest rates to restructuring the pools is decided by the users as opposed to the originators of this particular platform. Okay, so you're really able to take part in a democratized ecosystem where you're able to choose the direction of projects, and governance tokens are actually quite common with decentralized finance, because obviously the idea is to empower the user as opposed to have a closed system where the user is just a customer or the end result, if it were. Okay, so look out for governance tokens. They can actually be very useful. Zilliqa has actually just started a new governance token that is going to be released for 1 year. There are other governance tokens around. Most cryptocurrency projects have them to some degree. They're usually in very short supply. Yearn Finance, for example, has a governance token which is over $60,000 at present. And if you're able to get hold of some of that at a fairly reasonable price, then obviously you're going to be trading and making decisions on a platform which is exponentially growing in value. There are also governance tokens like Uniswap with its Uni token, etc., etc. So look into the crypto projects that you're excited about and see if there is a governance token that runs behind it, and then see how much governance token you need in order to start making key decisions. Sometimes they do set a limit, as I've demonstrated here in Crypto.com. The limits range from $400 to $400,000. Other projects, you can just own a small amount of token, and your proportionate amount actually dictates how much weight there is behind your decision. Okay, so the more governance token you own, the more powerful you are within the ecosystem.